looking for optimal nutrition, again, he's never going to find it. We know what's adequate, and that's what matters. If you're trying to like min-max kids' diets in order to gain like half an IQ point or half an inch in height so you can have this like perfect little kid, this little Olympian or something, like, maybe your priorities are a little fucked. And also, growing up in that household maybe isn't super mentally great for kids. I don't know. I don't think many of us would want to grow up.
Okay, so I was talking about Swayze in my last video and how she believes there isn't any such thing as an optimal diet, as an you can only reach adequacy, basically. You can only meet your needs in an adequate sort of way, regardless of which type of diet you're following. And she puts ethics first, basically. So health isn't a priority anyway. But one thing that I did say, I want to clear up a few things from my last video. I said that vegan diet can only ever be adequate. I meant in the sort of way like a survivalist type of adequate. I don't mean like adequately meeting every nutritional need that you have. Now, she did say that she wanted to give her children more of a fulfilled, sort of childhood experience rather than being, worried about this health, perfect health diet. And I went back and looked at some of her what I eat in a day videos for her children. And I realized, and she said this in a way like because they have treats after dinner. But isn't like the childhood, isn't that like all food? Isn't that part of the childhood experience? So I was thinking about this. It's not health that she's putting first. It's not this childhood experience that she's putting first. It's absolutely ethics that she is putting first. Because otherwise she would be feeding her kids burgers and, and real milk and using all the animal foods, maybe a minimal amount, maybe only eggs even if you don't want to, do meats and things like that. But tofu, canned veggies, like these aren't yummy foods particularly. So what's sort of wild about this whole thing is it's like she's almost striving to be mediocre. Like she puts in a ton of work to be like a standard American dieter, if that makes any sense. Like whole grain, packaged muffins and all of this nonsense that she does, and she throws in some frozen veggies here and there and a few blueberries and thinks, there you go, that's complete, and here's a dairy-free ice cream sandwich at the end of the day, as if that completes the childhood experience. So yeah, that's obviously not as important to her as she's saying, because some of this food looks disgusting. Like I don't think my dog would eat this. What is this? It's like some sort of slop in a bowl with chickpeas, I think she said it was. She uses tofu. So obviously children like meat just like adults do. She acknowledges this, that adults want to eat meat. They want to eat these foods. So she's depriving her children of this for no particular reason other than ethics. She has put ethics first, above health, above the childhood experience, above everything, above her children. Another point that I feel like is important, especially for parents to understand with picky eaters, and she says her child is a picky eater, that is more of a reason to ensure that they have some foods in their diet, like eggs or raw milk, or, that come fully packaged with almost every nutrient right there. So you're not having, instead of relying on a multivitamin, instead of using tofu as the protein and broccoli as your vitamin C and this, so many different foods to hit so many different nutrients when you can have almost every nutrient in just one food. That's why these animal foods are so important for kids who are being picky. you can ensure that they're getting everything. And you're not having to rely on supplements, if supplements even work. Ellen's comment here was an excellent point, because if it's ethics you are putting first primarily, shouldn't it be the ethics? Like, shouldn't it be your children? That's ethically what you should be putting first. Your children, your children's health, and ensuring that they have not just an adequate diet that, ensures that they won't die, that they are actually growing properly, that they are getting everything they need. And of course, we've been over this. She thinks that a vegan diet is adequate. It's as adequate as any other diet can be. You basically just get all your nutrients and that's that. In a twisted way, she is putting the animals first. She's putting her ethics, quote unquote, for the animals' lives before her children's. Because if she's being honest with herself, it's as simple as comparing, her smoothie breakfast or some brand cereal has some fiber in it, maybe a little bit of protein and some soy milk. And that's fortified. The nutrients you're going to get from that are mostly fortified, right? And then you've got your supplements. Compare that to some ethical eggs from a free range, from a farm, some raw milk. It doesn't compare. You can't even compare that. Like, the only thing you're missing from that other breakfast is some vitamin C and heme iron. And so, if you're being honest with yourself, you are giving your children an inferior diet purely for your ethical choices. That's the only reason I can come up with.
It's a religion at this point. It's a really weird, really sad religion.
I just wanted to pop in really quick and say I'm so sorry about the constant dinging. Didn't realize that till after I recorded, and I don't want to have to re-record the whole thing. I would also like to say to the Unnatural Vegan, Swayze, I don't doubt that you love your kids and you want to be the best mom you can be and all of that great stuff. But I challenge you to please take an honest look at this adequacy thing that you are hung up on. And, put the two side by side. Do it one meal at a time if you have to. And, take that challenge and really evaluate this honestly. You cannot come to the conclusion, with your knowledge and with what you know about nutrition, you cannot come to the conclusion that this vegan food is superior or just as adequate even. It's not even just as adequate. Of course you can't come to this conclusion, but if you could look at this, maybe you could introduce, some eggs, some, milk, some animal foods into your children's diet. It doesn't have to be yours. Of course, I believe they need shellfish, they need a wide variety of other animal foods, but even these few foods could help so much. Maybe even do it for a few weeks, a few months. Anyway, just a challenge. I've given Swayze a lot of shit, but I respect that, that she can evaluate things at least half of the time, pretty honestly. All right, y'all take care. Have a good day.
So, a lot of vegans want animal products. Like, that's the food you want.